welcome to the Northern Counties East League podcast. I'm Richard Watts. I'm now joined by League General Manager Matt Jones.
Hello and welcome to the official podcast of the Northern Counties East Football League. Here's a look back at the action from last weekend and this midweek. With newly crowned Premier Division champions Silsden not in action at the weekend and both relegation places already decided, attention turned to the race for the playoffs. A 2-0 win at Tadcaster Albion confirmed Hallam would finish in second place. The countrymen ensured they will finish runners-up as Rio Allen's second half double secured the points for Craig Denton's side. It means they will have a home tie in the semi-finals of the playoffs, as will Golker United, who will end the season in third spot. Golker staged a remarkable comeback as they were 3-0 down at Handsworth with 13 minutes remaining, after a brace from Mitch Dunn sandwiched a Harry Jessup strike that seemingly secured the Ambers the victory. But George Doyle began the revival. Jerome Badeau added a second before Doyle pounced again in stoppage time to ensure the spoils were shared in a 3-3 draw. 3 teams are left to contest the remaining 2 playoff spaces. Albion Sports climbed into 4th after a 2-1 win over Rossington Main on Monday evening. Nathan Cartman's 36th and 37th goals of the season, giving the home side the points and moving Cartman 1 goal ahead of Hallam's Rio Allen at the top of the goal-scoring charts. Beverley Town are in the 5th and final playoff spot, despite being beaten 4-0 at home by Penistone Church. Only Thackley can catch Albion or Beverley, sitting just a point behind both with 1 game remaining after a 2-2 draw at home with Goole. An 89th minute equaliser from Shea Muirhead by the Vikings dropped the Denny boys to 6th and out of the playoff spots. The title race in Division 1 is extended for at least another week as leaders Horbury Town were beaten 2-0 at Ilkley Town, whose victory bolstered their hopes of a playoff spot. The game was goalless with just 6 minutes remaining until Joe Snowden and then Toby Marriott struck to make sure that 5th place Ilkley have a 4-point cushion to finish in the top 5 with 2 matches remaining. A win for Horbury and defeats for the 2 sides who could still catch them would have seen them lift the trophy, but the opposite happened with victories for Wakefield and Wombwell Town closing the gap to 4 points. Crucially, both teams just below the leaders also have a game in hand. Wakefield were 4-0 home winners over Armthorpe Welfare. Kiani Clayton's first half double added to after the interval by Jaden Sandu and Keelan Swales. It was a little closer for Wombwell, who fell behind to Appleby Fodingham, but quick-fire strikes from Niall Smith and Owen Fieldsend meant they led at the break. Jordan Kershaw's penalty doubled their lead early in the second period before a second goal just after half-time brought the visitors back within touching distance. There was no further addition to the score, Wombwell's 3-2 victory leaving them still in with a shout of the title, while sadly for Appleby Fodingham, the defeat confirms that they will finish in the relegation zone and will most likely end the season next to bottom. Dernan District have secured themselves a playoff spot with a 4-0 win at Selby Town. Very impressive for them in their first year at this level. Ilkley can only be overtaken for the final playoff space by Worsbridge Bridge Athletic, as a 2-1 win for them at basement side Yorkshire Amateur lifts them to 6th above Brigg Town, whose promotion hopes were ended with a 2-0 loss at South Leeds. There was a big game in the fight to avoid finishing in the relegation zone, as the 2 sides still in trouble met at Nostell Miners Welfare, and it was the hosts who prevailed to climb out of the bottom 3, dumping Dronfield Town below the dotted line with a 2-0 victory on a nervy afternoon. The remaining games involved sides who were playing for pride, with Nathan Taylor's 82nd minute strike securing a 2-1 win for Swallownest at Athersley Recreation. Adam Baskerville struck in injury time to rubber stamp a home win for Club Thorn Colliery as they beat Shelley 3-1. Louth Town secured a 3-1 win over Harrogate Railway Athletic, 2 goals in the last 3 minutes giving the home side the points. Alexander Clark and Liam Flanagan were the scorers for Glasshout and Welfare as they won 2-0 at Maltby Main. Tuesday night's action saw Silsden celebrate their title win with a 3-0 win over Barton Town in the Premier Division, while the points were shared in Division 1 as Athersley Rec drew 1-1 with Harrogate Railway Athletic. Congratulations go to Knaresborough Town, who beat Penistone Church 5-4 on penalties in the first semi-final at the JCP Construction Northern Counties East League Cup in memory of James Hitchcock. A tense tie had finished 0-0 after extra time, before the home side book their place in May's final at Scunthorpe United from the spot. Knaresborough will find out their final opponents next Tuesday as Beverley Town play Silsden in the other semi-final. On to this weekend, and it's the final full weekend of action in the Premier Division, with the three sides previously mentioned still chasing the two remaining playoff spots. Albion Sports travel to Handsworth, Beverley Town go to Tadcaster Albion, and Thackley host Barton Town. By 4:45pm on Saturday, two of those sides will have clinched their playoff spots, leaving the other bitterly disappointed. The same scenario as last weekend applies in Division 1, where a victory for Horbury Town at home to Louth Town, coupled with defeats for Wakefield, who go to Athersley, and Wombwell, who go to Armthorpe, will give Horbury the title. Any other results will ensure that the title race goes on into the final week of the regular season.
Next up, NCEL talk. I'll hand straight over to host Aaron Walton.
Evening to everybody tonight. We've got Richard guesting on the panel tonight with his knowledge. We've got Bob, of course, and we've got Si and myself, Aaron, as well. So, hello, everybody.
Hi.
Good evening. Hello.
Hello. So, let's get down to our business, because it is the business end of the season. And it's nearly sorted out in the Prem, with Silsden already crowned champions. And with Hallam and Golker booking their places in the playoffs, it's between three for the last two places, isn't it, gents? Albion Sport, Beverley Town and Thackley, all having, even if unsuccessful, they've had really good seasons. So I think Albion, under the stewardship of Neil Simpson, experienced at this level and getting the teams promoted, is a good bet there. But I mentioned two of his number two for a bit was Craig Ogilvie, who was with Neil for a bit, and he's taking over at South Leeds next season. So they're one to watch out for next season. So it's Albion on 65 points with 10 extra goals, Beverley on the same points, and Thackley a point behind Beverley and Albion. So who do we fancy out of those three then? Richard.
Well,
I didn't see your lips move, Richard.
I think the two in there at the moment will stay in. I'll still be in there at the end on Saturday.
Albion and Beverley.
Yeah.
You don't think Thackley are going to beat Barton, do you? Away.
They might do, but I think Beverley and Albion will do what they need to do. Yeah,
because I think Beverley are away at Taddy, aren't they? And I think Albion are away at Handsworth, if memory serves me correctly. So
it's tricky. Yeah. I mean, tricky game, but I think they'll get the job done.
Yeah, I think so. What do you reckon, Bob?
Well, I'm inclined to lean towards what Richard said, but Tadcaster on the home pitch against Beverley, that'll be a tough game for Beverley. But Thackley, when we played Thackley last week, I know we'll come to our game, but when we drew there, that took them out of the playoffs, put them down into sixth position, didn't it?
Yeah.
So that was so and we Gould when he's gone there had a good record at Thackley, but they really needed to win on Saturday, and dropping 2 points, it pushed them to sixth place. So I suppose looking at it, if Beverley and Albion win, they'll take the fourth and fifth playoff places, won't they? So
certainly will.
So it's not in Thackley's hands, is it? Really,
it's not. So, Si, have you got any leaning towards these teams? What do you think?
I've got a preference, and I think for a start, Albion would deserve it, because I think this 3-point deduction, it was a mistake. It wasn't like from what I've read, it wasn't something purposeful, dodgy sort of thing. It was just an illegible play. I think it was a mistake, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'd like Thackley to be in there because we've got an ex-Wakefield player, Slater Barnes, that plays there.
Yeah.
Which knocks out Beverley, but my reasoning for that is I do like going to Beverley, and if we did get up next season, I'd like to be able to go there.
I think you'll still be going to Beverley. So because I think Hallam and Golka are just a little bit too strong. But anything can happen, can't it? Anything can happen. So
Who would you pick out of those two then, Aaron?
I think Hallam myself. Definitely. But what do I know about football? But definitely Hallam, I think. Right, so I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll go on to Saturday's games. So Saturday saw Beverley Town slip up at home to Penistone Church 4-0. That was a bit of a surprise. I know Penistone are a good team, but for Beverley to lose 4-0, that was a surprise.
If Beverley had won that, they'd have confirmed their place in the playoff, wouldn't they?
Yeah, maybe got the jitters a little bit. But like you said, Bob, and I'm going to get to you, Bob, because I know you're going to eulogise about the Vikings. Thackley dropped points too at home to goal in a Desmond 2-2. So let's hear all about it, Bob.
Yeah, well, Go played well. The point was well deserved. I mean, Kyle Austin, 18-year-old, scored the opening goal for Gould, his first goal for the club in 23rd minute. But then the Thackley went straight down to the end and equalised, make it 1-1. But it was the second half that was turned the game. James Isles, he got through a great pass. It was one-on-one with the keeper. Keeper raced out, and Jimmy tried to lob him, and the keeper handled it about 7-8 yards outside the box. So the referee had no option but to send the Thackley keeper off. 1-1, so they was down to 10 men, but Thackley played well then, even after 10 men, and took the lead after about 77 minutes. But then Gould came back, Shane Muirhead came on a substitute and scored in the 89th minute to equalise 2-2. Break Thackley's hearts, really, I think, because they knew they had to win. So a good point for Gould. I mean, in the last 9, it's come too late for us, but in the first 24 games, we got 9 points. In the last 13, we've got 17 points. So that's well above more points. Yes, if we'd done that early in the season, probably wouldn't be where we are. But
well, that's just the way it is, isn't it? That's the way the cookie crumbles, I'm afraid.
But it was a good crowd at Thackley on Saturday, well above their average, 293. But a good following. Good following from Gould, even though we're 19th in the league.
It proves you got the. It's like we say, the winning formula is: if you win, you get more people there, don't you?
Exactly.
But so Luke, was it Luke Wilson in goal for?
It was, yes.
Yeah.
He came out, and he handled it. Tried to lob him, and obviously put his hands up and kicked. Referee after consulting his line had to show him the red card.
So that's
the rule.
He'll still be in for the game against Barton, will he? Richard,
I think they've signed. I believe they've signed Harry Garman. Looking at registration, because I don't think he can play.
Right. Oh, right. He'll be upset then. Well, Luke, if he can't play. So, that's not so bad. Well, so if we go on,
he'd be out of the playoffs, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he would. It's a shame because he's a really good shot stopper, is Luke. Real good shot stopper, as we've seen on many occasions, Richard, haven't we?
We have, yeah.
But I just want to sort of pop to Monday because on Monday night Albion knew what they had to do against Rossington. They had to win, of course, and they did 2-1. Victors with a double from Mr. Cartman, taking him up to 37 goals for the season. He is good, isn't he? He knows where the back of the net is. So that's good for Albion. So we'll go flick back onto Saturday's fixtures. Campion are on a wretched run of form and can't wait for the season to finish. They lost out to basement boys Winton Rangers 2-1. So there's two ends of the spectrum to that game. There's a little story. Campion in relation to managers. Campion's James Bicknell, I call him Mr. Campion, as I've unofficially named him, steps down this weekend after 15 years with Campion, 3 as assistant, 12 as manager. He'll be sorely missed, Will James. Nice fella. And as I say, Mr. Campion. And the Winton Rangers end, it was Robbie Start's first game, wasn't it? At the beginning of his NCEL management career, having cut his teeth at Beverley Town Reserves this season, and an ex-Winton Rangers man himself. So Wayne Turtle and Barry Hilton at Winton have given him a chance to manage. So that's quite good. And on a personal note, I'd like to wish Robbie all the best. and I'll get down to West Street to see him next season. So let's get on to our game, Richard. We were at commentating at a very windy Eccles Hill, wasn't it?
Old and windy,
So,
yeah.
windy, yeah.
A typical game of two halves.
I've just got that down, Richard. I was going to say, would you call it a game of two halves? We were Barton were 1-0 down at half time. And I did say to you, Richard, usually I'm quite negative, but I did say to you, I think we'll score second half. And by crikey, we did. 5.
Yeah.
So, as I say,
I think it was the best 45 minutes of the season from a Barton point of view. Second half.
Ecclesville couldn't live with the wind, could they?
No.
But it must have been a Chilean team talk by Ant Bowsley, the Barton Town manager, at half time. We sort of half know what he said to him, but it's unrepeatable on the radio, I'm afraid. I think Matt Jones will go bright red. So, but an 11-minute hat trick for Grant Tate, wasn't it, Rich?
Yeah.
Helped by who scored the other goal? I've got it down here. It was Matt Broadley. First touch coming on a sub, and then Elliot Broughton, who'd had a good game, he just rounded the keeper to make it 5. And obviously, Ecclesville got a consolation goal back in the second half as well to make it 5-2. Was it 5-2 or 5-3?
5-2.
5-2, yeah. So it was a nice ride home, Richard, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Well done to the Swans.
Looking at that one, just to catch up on that, Bob, it looks, you can tell me, but 2 penalties in space of 2 minutes.
Yes, yeah. But
in the second, that's a rarity, isn't it?
They were both. Ecclesville couldn't cope with the wind, and there were one-on-ones with the keeper, and he brought the player down both times, and everybody was shouting, "Send him off!" And you think, well, penalty's sufficient. So, and we'd want him in goal anyway because he won't play very well. No, I'm only joking. But yeah, 2 penalties, yeah, both goalkeeper mistakes. So, if we look at other games, Handsworth and Golka drew 3-3. A late George Doyle goal for the Weavers, sinking the Ambers' hearts there. Knaresborough put 3 unanswered goals past Bottisford. And Hallam did the business, didn't they, beating Tadcaster 2-0. And you've guessed it, Rio Allen getting both of the goals. 36 for the season, Rio, and he's on a decent run of form. And they are on a decent run of form as well, aren't they, Hallam? 5 unbeaten. So, right, we're going to go, Si, into Division 1. And it's all still in the balance, isn't it? So
it's all up for grabs, as the old commentator was with the Arsenal-Liverpool one back in the 80s, for those that remember it. Yeah, up for grabs now. And it certainly is. 3 teams still in this, isn't there?
Certainly is. You've got yourselves, Wakefield, Wombwell, and of course Horbury, who've been up there sort of nearly all the season, haven't they? So now Horbury come unstuck away at Ilkley Town 2-0. So that opened the door for Wakefield and Wombwell. How did Wakefield go on then, Si?
Finally back to winning ways. Obviously, we had the unbeaten run, then we had 3 games where we just seemed to forget all the things that had got us into that position in the first place. We'd just turned into a bit of almost like a long ball team, which wasn't working. But we got back to basics and actually put in a decent performance against Downthorpe. 2 goals from Keanu Morris early in the first half kind of settled things in terms of any nerves about not picking up points in this one. Then we lost our goalkeeper with a dislocated finger.
Oh, heck.
So we had to put our striker in goal from the bench. He's played. Shea Evans Booth used to be a goalkeeper in his youth, so he went in goal. But yeah, we seem to be having a bit of a bad run lately with injuries. And we lost Kiani, who scored the 2 goals. Couldn't get his hat trick because not long after getting his second goal, he went off injured as well.
Oh dear!
And then goals in the second half from Jaden Sandu. That's his 36th goal for us now, and Keelan Swales with another one after he got 2 assists as well. So he had a good game.
So all good down at Wakefield then. So you 4-0 winners, and Wombwell tighter affair at the recreation ground, overcoming a relegation threatened Appleby Fronningham 3-2. So that was a little bit closer than they expected. But they won. That's the thing. Elsewhere, playoff hopefuls Dernan District had a superb win away at Selby Town 4-0. That's not to be sniffed at, is it? Ilkley Towners,
they're looking strong now.
They are, aren't they, Dernan District? Ilkley Towners, we've already said, beat Horbury. A real confidence boost for the Bar Tatters there, because they're sort of up there, aren't they? Looking for a little way in. Who else was up there? Worsborough Bridge made hard work of defeating Basement Club Yorkshire Amateurs 2-1. And Brigtown's playoff hopes seem to be slipping away, having lost out to South Leeds 2-0. And they've parted with their management team, haven't they, in the week?
Yeah, so, playoff hopes have gone completely now for them.
They have, yeah. So
they can't mathematically do it.
Yeah, Brett Agnew has gone, and they've just appointed Steve McCarran, and I can't remember the other gentleman. He plays for them though, but it'll come to me in about half an hour. But they've just got those two in to manage the team, so that's good. Martin Pembleton, it's just come back to me. Sorry, Martin, you permission to have a go at me when I see you next. So they've got them in, so they'll be building for next season. Elsewhere, the massive game at the bottom, wasn't it, between Nostell and Dronfield? Nostell Miners Welfare coming out 2-0. And now a point above Dronfield with a game in hand, having to play Glass.
That takes them out of the 3 spots, relegation spots, isn't it? That big win for them.
Very big win, yeah. And they're having to play Glass out now at the weekend and home on the 12th. I think they all won the 12th. I can't remember. Yeah, and away at Harrogate Railway. So other results. So Club Thorn beat Shelley 3-1. Atherstone Recreation lose at home to Swallownest 2-1, and Louth beat the Harrogate Railway 3-1. Maltby's topsy-turvy season continued as they lost 2-0 at home to Glasshoughton. So it's Maltby are a bit hot and cold out there this season, but never mind. So let's go over to midweek. So who did we play at midweek? Well, it was Monday night, wasn't it? We've already covered that Monday night game, haven't we? Albion beat Rossington 2-1.
That was at Silsden.
Yes. Now, Richard, how did it go? Because unfortunately, work's getting in the way of my coming to games. So, Richard, what was it like?
It's good atmosphere, big crowd. They were obviously parading the trophy. 3-0, which it wasn't a 3-0 game. I would say a goal in it would have been sufficient, I think. But they showed what a good side they are, Silsden. There's no doubt about it. They were worthy winners. Got some good players. Finished really well. Greaves and Price strong at the back. But Barton were desperately unlucky not to go in front before Silsden scored. The ball somehow came back off the underside of the bar.
Wow.
And a couple of other opportunities, but it was a decent game. But you can see why they've won the league.
Yeah. And Barton were depleted somewhat, weren't they, Richard?
There's quite a few missing, but it's a decent effort with a makeshift side.
Yeah. Did you take your boots? Apparently, I thought you was named in the subs, weren't you? I spotted you in the crowd, by the way. Did you get it?
Yes.
So, and then the JCP Construction League Cup semi-final. Well, Knaresborough Town took on Penistone Church, didn't they? 0-0 at full time, 0-0 after extra time, and Knaresborough won on penalties. I'd always fancied myself at penalties with Knaresborough's keeper, Tom Brown, wouldn't you? Really good keeper.
Yeah.
So we were impressed. But so congratulations to Knaresborough Town for reaching the final, which is in May, and that'll be either against Beverley Town or Silsden. Who do we fancy out of those two teams, gentlemen?
Well, that'd be so funny. Beverley at home, always. Well, mind you, they lost 4-0 this week at home, but I think we'll give Silsden a good game. But you would have to fancy Silsden, really. With Robbie Stewart and Robbie Fox, and Casey Stewart. But be a good game next week. Be a good
Yeah,
crowd.
I mean, against Barton, they're that good. They had Robbie Fox sat on the bench.
Wow. Well, he could have played for us, couldn't he?
Yeah.
He could have played for Barton. Who do you fancy, Richard, in that one?
It'll be tight, but I think I'd have to go for Silsden.
I'm going to go for Beverly because I don't want Dave Ricciardo having a go at me. So, I'm going to go for Beverly. What about you, Si? Who do you think?
I'm backing Silsden for the double this season.
Oh, you're going with Sills now, you. So looks like I'll possibly have egg on my face next Thursday. Never mind. So, also games. Who else did we have playing? Did we have a game in Division 1?
Athersley won, Harrogate won.
Yeah.
That's it. Athersley and Harrogate 1-1. That moves Athersley up to 16th and the Rails staying 11th. Now, Athersley last season had they got about 44 points, so they've already reached that now, and it's probably a good total because they got 30 points the season before and only 10 points the season before that. 44, 30 and 10 points, so they've had a reasonably good season, Athersley. Wednesday, so Eccleshill versus Campion. So two teams on a wretched run of form played out a 1-1 draw. So that's probably about fair, isn't it? So let's have a look at the weekend's fixtures because it's very important in the Prem and just as important in Div 1. So who's playing who, gentlemen?
Well, go. We are at Hallam, the way to Hallam.
Oh,
yeah, but it's a big game for us. Even though we're in the relegation spots, we want to keep in the 19th place because there's always a chance of a reprieve.
yeah.
That's why that point was so big last week.
Yeah.
And Winterton are home to Knaresborough. So if Winterton win and we drew, we would be in bottom because our goal difference is poor. We're 2 points behind.
Yeah.
So really, we need to get something out of the game with Hallam. But going to Hallam, second place, not be easy. Big crowd, but the lads will do their best, you know.
Yeah, that's all they can do.
They might, you never know how they might just rest one or two, but we'll see, you know, on Saturday.
Yeah,
but big game
yeah.
for Gould and Winterton on Saturday.
Yeah,
no doubt about
yeah, definitely. I know. Obviously, Beverly Town are away to Tadcaster out, and that'll be a good game. You'd fancy Beverly, but like you said, Tadcaster play really well at home, don't they?
They do, yeah.
And then we've got obviously Thackley. They're at home to Barton Town. I don't know. I fancy Thackley, but I shall get.
And I think at this stage, it seems nerves can play a part in the matches as well, you know, because there's a lot to play for, isn't there?
Definitely. I think if Barton have the full strength team out, or a few more than they had on Tuesday night, they'll give them a real good game. And then Albion are away at Handsworth, so that's a tough one for Albion because Handsworth are they're no mean feat to beat Handsworth at Handsworth, and they're on reasonable form. So, any other games in the Premiership?
Well, I know Silsden won the league, but a good that'd be a good match. Rossing Silsden.
Yeah.
Because Rossington are good at home, aren't they? It's
yeah, they are. Yeah. And
Parkgate Golcar.
That'll be good. Yeah.
Yeah. But the Golcar's got that playoff position. They've confirmed that, haven't they?
Yes.
Penniston Frickley.
Penniston will want to finish off strongly, won't they? To see, because it'll be Steve Lenthal's last game. I think the manager who's been there a long while. I think he's stepping down, isn't he, at the end of the season? So they'll want to send Steve off with 3 points. He's been a superb manager there, and really nice guy as well. So all the best, Steve, in your retirement. But I bet you don't retire. So if we look at Div 1. What's the games there, Si? That really do matter.
So we've got Horbury, the leaders, there at home to Louth Town.
Yeah.
So Louth are safe, but one of those teams who can give anyone a game on the day.
Yeah.
We are away to Athersley, who we've just been talking about, who have had a good season for them.
Yeah.
And picked up the points here and there. They're only just above Louth.
Yeah.
So that's going to be another test there. And Wanwell are away to Armthorpe, who we've just put 4 past. So
Yeah.
um,
And we've got
you never
Dernan.
know on any of these games, do you? It's like Bob says, there's a lot down to just nerve at the end of the season, and sometimes you can slip up without. It's not always about, as I always say, it's not about ability. It's about mentality.
Yeah, there's always. And who have Dern District got?
So looking at the playoff spots, Dern are at home to Shelley.
Yeah.
Ilkley have got Yorkshire Amateur.
Yeah.
They're at home to Yorkshire Amateur, and the outside chance, of course, is Worsborough. They're away to Appleby Frodingham. They've got the trip over to Scunthorpe.
Oh yeah. So it's all to play for. So that's looking good. Now, if we've got time, gentlemen, because our team of the week, we'll give our team of the week. Have we got time for that, Richard?
Yeah.
So, team of the week then. We'll go with Richard first. Team of the week.
Come back to me, will you?
Bob?
I'm going to go, my team of the week, I'm going to go for Nostell.
Well done.
Because it was a vital win at home last Saturday against Drumfield, and it lifted them out of the relegation spots. So that's a vital win. So that would be my team of the week.
Well done. So, and Si, who's your team of the week?
Now I'm going for Ilkley, not because they beat our title rivals, not for that reason for it, but from their point of view, they beat the team at the top to secure themselves, or pretty much secure themselves a place in the playoffs. So that was a vital win for them. Otherwise, they would be battling with Worsborough a lot closer for that last playoff position.
Well done. So, I'm going to go myself with Winterton Rangers. I know Campion are on a wretched run of form, but to go there and beat them 2-1. They were playing Campion, by the way, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
My memory's terrible. And it was obviously Robbie Stark's first game, so it's always good to win your first game. And Winterton have had a real tough time this season, so well done to Winterton. They're my team of the week. Richard, have you got one yet?
Yeah, I'm going to go for Knaresborough. They beat Bottisford on Saturday and then went and got to the cup final. So I'll go for Knaresborough.
Go for Knaresborough. That's good. So, and another thing, what I would like to look at, because now as we've always go on about this league being value for money, both the leagues, I'm asking you to give me a couple of players or a player that stood out for you this season. Not necessarily your own team, but a player you've seen from your opponents. And you thought, well, I'm going to clap him because he's done really well. So I'll start it off. Campion. Me and Richard was there a few weeks ago, and there was a lad called Callan Parker Wells. Richard, you definitely wanted to call him Parker Bowles, didn't you? So,
right. Yeah.
But he's strong, can get past, get good passing, get a good tackling, win a 50-50, decent passer, and movement is good. And he's only a young lad at the back, wasn't he, Richard? And he did look good. He caught our eye, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then one more, he's a really good player to watch, and he's only a young lad at Beverley Town called Lucas Lubrich. When he's on form, he's just absolutely brilliant to watch because he can take players on. He'll do his little fancy tricks. Sometimes it don't work, sometimes it does, but he looks really good and very exciting. So, have you got any, Bob? You can't have your own team though.
No. Right. I've got a couple. Yeah. When we played Rossington away early in its season, the forward Manas Kianga. I hope I said that right.
Yeah, Manas Kianga. Yeah,
he scored 2 goals on the night, and he looked a class above the others. I don't know if he's still there or not. We haven't got Adam tonight, but on the night he played really well. A danger all night to us.
Yeah.
And then my other one is Tadcaster. He scored a hat trick in the first 30 minutes against Taddy. That's Luca Bolino.
Yeah.
He's only about 4. He must be about 5'6", 5'7", but he's really fast, really good player. And on the night, he was it was unplayable for us.
Was he? Yeah.
So that was my two outstanding players, both forwards. But yeah,
Both
that's my
good.
two players.
Oh, that's good. Good choice. Si?
The one player that stood out for me that I really noticed this season, I thought, God, it'd be a great player to have in your lineup, is a guy that's at Selby, but I first noticed him at Nostell last season. Really tall centre back called Jack Boyle.
Yeah.
Who was one of those centre backs who just gets the head on everything. You can't get a cross in without him beating someone to it. He was really impressive.
Yeah.
Obviously, and looking at the goal scorers, Josh Batty of Brigtown, to say that they've had an inconsistent season, especially towards the end of it, to still be top scorer, I think that's a good run for him.
Yeah, it is, and he's missed lots of chances as well. If he'd have got everyone he's made, it'd be 30, 40, maybe 50 goals, and that'd be no exaggeration. He's missed loads of chances. Sorry, Josh, but that's how it is. But he's really good. So that's a good couple of choices there. Have you got any, Richard?
Yeah, I think I'll go for the Nesborough goalkeeper, Tom Brown, who has been massively impressive each time we've played them.
Yeah, we do like Tom, don't we? Good keeper, nice guy as well. But brilliant keeper, isn't he? So, have you got any more, Richard?
I'd really have to go for Cale Price at Silsden.
Yeah.
So good up front, great finisher.
Yeah, he's had a real good season. He's had a couple of seasons where he's been a bit in and out, but this season he's been absolutely electric, hasn't he? So
yeah,
that's really good. Now, if we could just finish.
We didn't preview the Tuesday midweek games because there's a big game for Wakefield on the Tuesday night, isn't there?
Oh, there is, isn't there? Who they're playing?
At Maltby.
Maltby.
Si might want to give us his thoughts on that.
Is that at Muglet Lane?
No, it's
at
home.
Penultimate last two games are at home, thankfully.
All right. So
yeah, it's as we just said, Maltby's been one of those consistently inconsistent teams that we've often mentioned in mid-table in this division, and you never know what you're going to get. I suppose is the old phrase for that one, isn't it? And they've got Ash Flynn, who I don't know what's he now, about 54 or something. I'm kidding, Ash.
he's only in his 30s, Ash.
I know, I'm kidding.
He's had a long paper round.
But again, second top scorer in the league. He knows how to put the ball in the net, doesn't he? So it's going to be two tough games that we've got, but let's hope we can get the job done.
Definitely.
And on the same night, Woolwell's away to Harrogate. So that's it. So that's side. We keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, it will be. It's a tough place to go, is Harrogate Railway, isn't it? Just to finish off, Si, Walk with Wakefield. Explain.
What's that? Sorry.
Walk with Wakefield.
Oh yes, bear with me. Yeah, we have a number of our fans that are doing a walk for charity. I'm just going to get the details up here.
It's for Andy's Man Club, isn't it?
It is, and also Harrison Landon, who is an Applesley Rec player who suffered a double leg break earlier in the year. He says, reading quickly from his notes.
That's brilliant. Yeah.
So they raised. They've already raised over £250, which was the target, and hopefully I'll have a few more at the time. But we've got quite. John and myself got something on the Saturday morning, but I'm not even sure I've managed to walk that far myself.
It's a long way. It's a long
way. Good luck
to
all the fans that are doing that one, and hopefully they've still got plenty of energy when they get there to cheer the team on.
Yeah, but if anybody wants to put some money towards that, it'll be gratefully received. It's going to sort of Harrison Landon at Applesley Rec and Andy's Man Club. Andy's Man Club is
the
really
Wakefield
good.
AFC Facebook page. There is a post about it today, and there's a link there for the Just Giving page where people can contribute to that one if they want to.
That's brilliant. So if you want to, that two real good things there, good causes, and Andy's Man Club do a brilliant job. I know I've seen a lot of the work they do, and it's really good. So two worthy causes there. So I think we've just about covered everything we need to do. Go on, Bob.
Did you see the NCEL put out a thing that all 42 clubs have passed the ground grading for next season by the deadline 31st of March.
That's brilliant. Did Goal pass it? Because the goal there's now left at Goal.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I was at the bomb site, but obviously they know the work's going on, isn't it? So
It's on onwards and upwards at Goal. I mean, you've put all you've got the little stands in there which look quite neat and tidy, don't they?
Oh yeah.
So it was.
We just need to keep the Eric Lawton stand because we don't know what's happening with that. We want to keep it for next season, but
is that the one, the standing terrace with the roof on it?
Yeah. Because that's not in the plan. That's not in the plans. But we want to keep that if we can. So, but I don't know what's been decided yet.
Well, if you do, Bob, if you don't want it, come back and town. Have first dibs on it.
Well, it's a great stand.
It is. Yeah, I think
we need the atmosphere. You need the atmosphere for people standing there. But
you do.
But watch this space. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, because I think that's what we lack at Barton Town. We've got the stand over the far side, but we've got nothing down where the clubhouse is, and everybody likes to stand down there. Obviously, we've got the houses there, but you just get wet through, and we want people under cover, but I don't know. So
you need that stand for it's a long winter. You need people to shelter because the main stand's been knocked down.
Yeah, exactly. So have we got any further on with when it's going to be finished, Bob? Goal.
Well, they're on with it now. The 3G pitch. They say that about second week in July that'll be finished. The 3G, but it's going to take till March next year. I've heard before it's completely finished. So it looks like next season that we'll be in the temporary facilities throughout the season next year.
Will you be playing? Would you still be playing at Goal, or will you be playing at the 3G?
The 3G. Yeah. Once the 3G is playing, we can play. Okay, that's all the work that we do at the railway end, and that far side. Hopefully, they'll be finished.
That's it for this edition. If you've got any news for the podcast or you'd like to appear on the podcast, please email ncelpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.